Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your spoiler ween. My name is Mike with Mike W Productions, and you guys are going to get 3 reviews this weekend. This one is, of course, if you read the title below, is going to be Last Night in Soho by Edgar Wright. There are quite a few people in this movie that I would say are pretty notable. Of course, Edgar Wright, known for his movies and for me, his fantastic transitions.
Didn't you know? Todd's vegan.
You do know the front door was open again last night. I'm not saying it was you.
Such as Baby Driver, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was kind of freaky, and of course Ant-Man and the World's End. Those are the ones that I've seen. If you've ever seen any of his any of the movies that he's done, you know that he does pretty trippy, flawless transitions in all of his movies. They are so random and kind of weird in a way that they make the movie really what it is, and this movie honestly is like that as well. There are, of course, the cast of Last Night in Soho, which, if you didn't know, Anna Taylor-Joy. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. We have Anna Taylor-Joy. She's done a few things. Thomasin McKenzie. I know her from Jojo Rabbit. She did really good in that one. And that was my first experience with her and her acting. I don't want to say that she's typecast, but the way that she performs her characters are kind of the same, but very good in the same way. I've only really seen her in, I believe the only thing that I've seen her in is Jojo Rabbit. I'll have to look more into her filmography to really get into it. Matt Smith, you will know from Doctor Who, that's how I know him, and from a few other movies that he's been played in. I know he did a track movie a while ago, and he floats in and out of different American movies, and I'm sure he's done a lot of British movies. So Matt Smith, the Doctor, is in this one. Diane Rigg is in this one, and I know that she passed away recently, I believe, and she was in Game of Thrones. You might know her. And then an ensemble cast of different characters and different actors. Terrence Stamp is in this one. He's always played like the weird, creepy guy in just about every movie that I've seen him in. Maybe there's a few that he's not the weird, creepy, older guy. He's been in a bunch of movies, and the idea here with this movie, okay, is this girl is, I guess you could call it clairvoyant if you want.
I see dead people.
She sees dead people. Yeah. So, the first time we see her, she's made, we see her looking in a mirror and she sees this woman. We find out that she's a fashion designer, or at least an inspiring fashion designer. She is dancing around in this newspaper dress, which is pretty interesting, that she apparently designed herself, and it was funny to see that, and I was like, oh wow, that's actually really creative that she would come up with that. And of course, like, whoever actually designed that dress, very good job. The movie itself is visually stunning. Of course, Edgar Wright and his transitions are trippy in this movie. There is a warning at my theater that if you are visually, neurologically tweaked in the way of flashing lights, you're more exposed to seizures and things from flashing, blinking lights. Don't see this movie. I would definitely say that there's at least 2 scenes in the movie where that will definitely be the case. So if you are more seizure prone, don't see this movie. But if you don't have that problem, then, you know, just, that's fine. The movie itself, again, visually stunning. The transitions are Edgar Wright's mainstay. They're not the same. If you've seen any of the Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead or anything like that, you know that his transitions are never truly the same in every movie that he does. Even Baby Driver, they're different. His transitions are pretty famous now, I would say. And if you haven't seen Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, and World's End, or any of those, or Shaun of the Dead, go and watch those, especially the Shaun of the Dead, and it's called the something trilogy. It's this ice cream that's in like each one of them. Go and watch those 4 movies, and you'll get what I'm talking about. The transitions are ridiculous, but also they have a purpose. They're not just, oh hey, flashy transition, I'm over here now, no, I'm over here, and, you know, transition. It's done with a purpose. Perfect. The storyline and visually, other than just the transitions, visually the movie is dark, not so gritty, but it's like dark, creepy, ambient feeling. It has kind of a fog about it. It's very like, and it's in London, so it's different than here in America, of course. So everything is just kind of in that weird world. Okay, so we are in, the main character is in nowadays, is in our time. There is a girl that is in the 60s, and she sees this girl because, again, she's kind of clairvoyant, and she sees dead people. And so she kind of lives in this girl's body in snippets through her dreaming. It's visually stunning, and we start off in the 60s because the girl that she's inhabiting, who's seeing this life of this girl, She sees it lives in the 60s. So we start off with transition into her life. She's at this thing. She goes outside, and there's a theater across the street, and there's this big billboard for 007's Thunderball, which can give you somewhat of a time frame of when the movie takes place. So mid to late 60s. Okay. Now, if you've seen any movies of the 60s, you know, Breakfast at Tiffany's or any of the Audrey Hepburns or the Gregory Peck movies, it is romanticized. There have been quite a few movies, kind of like The Founder, that have kind of distilled, opened our eyes to what the 60s were really like. Even newer movies like The Many Saints of Newark opened our eyes to the realisms of the 60s. It wasn't all, you know, My Fair Lady and Breakfast at Tiffany's, happy, 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 you know, 007 nostalgia. It was just as bad, if not worse, than today. And we start off with our nostalgia goggles on. We see Thunderball, we see all the clothes and everyone walking around having fun, doing life, and then slowly we drip into this like reality of no matter what time you were in. I mean, even movies like The Great Gatsby, nostalgia from what we know about that history, but it pulls you back into the actual reality that not everyone's good, not everything is okay, people are bad, and you can nostalgify, if that's a word, the era that you're thinking about, but you have to understand with an understanding of the actual history in that time that not everything was nostalgia perfect, if you will. So we start learning things about this other character while learning things about our main character. And it's very interesting how it plays out. I thought it was going to be like a murder mystery, suspense horror type thing. Some people said it was going to be a horror movie. It's not really a horror movie until like the very end. And then it's more of a suspense thriller mystery movie is what I would define it as. But it's a fun ride. It's about 2 hours long, I think. It runs very well though. Like every minute's just kind of, okay, more character development, more development on the main character, more development on this past character who's also the main character. And it's a very good storytelling. It's not just visually stunning. Some movies, they're visually stunning and there's no storyline. Other movies are visually stunning and are not visually stunning and very good at telling the story. This one's actually a good mix of both, probably because I like, and this might just be my viewer bias, because I like Matt Smith and the girl from Jojo Rabbit. But with that being said, it's a very good movie. I would definitely find it on DVD when it comes out. I would definitely go and watch it in the movie theater if I were you guys, because it's something that you really want to watch. You don't have to watch it. It's not like Dune where you want to experience this in the best theater that you have to, but this is something that you would probably enjoy even more in the movie theater. And we need to keep the movie theaters alive. So, with that being said, guys, this movie is an excellent movie. Is it as good as Dune? well, one, it's in a different category of genre, but it is visually just as interesting as Dune. So, yes, I would probably own this one on DVD when it comes out, when it gets a little bit cheaper, because I don't really buy anything off of the shelf anymore because the price of movies is too high and they get lose their value really quickly. So, very good movie. I would say solid 7.5 out of 10. There's a few little things that I didn't like about it, but they're not huge enough to make an issue out of them or talk about. So 7 out of 10 is my number on this one. If you guys like this review, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you don't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. We will be doing 2 more movies this weekend. Addams Family is next on my run. For you guys, it's Addams Family versus Addams Family versus Addams Family. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you to all of my subscribers for showing up. If you guys like this video, there is a little subscribe button that will let you know the next time I make a video. And there should be another video popping up right over here for you. And with that being said, we will see you next time. Peace.